I'm Jonathan Frakes, Commander Riker from Star Trek The Next Generation, here to introduce 5'2", incredibly adorable, the Southern Mother of Dragons, Mayim Zadi.
Tonight, the 24th century begins.
Welcome to the Enterprise.
In a special world premiere movie, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Ready for departure, sir. Engage.
78 years have passed since the days of the original USS Enterprise. Now a new Galaxy Starship has been designed with a new team of highly skilled Federation explorers. Starfleet Captain Jean-Luc Picard, Commander Riker, Executive Officer, Chief Medical Officer Crusher, and her brilliant son, Wesley, Lieutenant Commander Data, an android, the telepathic Troy, Geordi, a man with unique vision, Security Officer Yar, and Klingon Officer Worf.
Shields and deflectors up, sir.
Go to yellow alert.
Their first mission, investigate a new star base on planet Deneb 4.
Thou art directed to return to thine own solar system immediately.
A hostile alien threatens the crew.
Now go back, or thou shalt most certainly die.
But they're determined to finish their mission.
Arm aft photon torpedoes. Place them on ready status.
Hostile is now beginning to overtake us, sir.
Together, they stand trial before a merciless court.
You will now answer to the charge of being a grievously savage race.
Now, they have 24 hours to uncover the secrets of a strange world.
They're firing on far point, sir.
The classic legend begins an all-new adventure.
Let's see what's out there.
Star Trek, The Next Generation.
Hey everyone, this is Amanda, and I'm here with Chris.
Greetings and salutations to you from me and all my people. Did that sound exciting enough for you? Or do you want me to be like, hey?
Yeah, that was the last one. On the podcast, hey, she paid me $3.
Oh, you guys are getting paid?
And we have started a new series that we're very excited about. I've convinced Chris to watch Star Trek The Next Generation, which is the very first fandom I was ever in. And we watched the first 2 episodes. It's a 2-part encounter at Farpoint. Did you enjoy it, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, the point was kind of far, but like they eventually made it.
I can't. Star Trek The Next Generation, as iconic as it is, when it was announced it was coming out, there were a lot of people that were not excited about it. Mainly original series fans, which is understandable, you know. They felt like it was going to, I guess, erase part of what they really, 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 really loved, which it didn't. But there's just a lot of pushback and a lot of pressure. So you could tell they spent quite a bit of money on it with the people that they hired and also the sets. So the very first thing you see is the Enterprise D, which is my favorite ship of all time. And it's a beautiful ship. A lot more curvy than the previous Enterprises. And, obviously they wanted it to look different.
Is that what the D in Distortus Rex stands for?
Contrary to popular belief, the D in Distortus Rex stands for the Enterprise D.
That's what I thought.
It's the Enterprise Distortus Rex.
That's what I was just saying. Is it the Enterprise Distortus Rex?
It is. People are like, what? We're talking about Jurassic World Rebirth. By the way, if you'd like to see more of that and some great memes, you should follow us on social media.
Please visit Girls Nerd Out on YouTube and Instagram for artwork, extra details about this topic, and to follow Amanda and Chris on social media.
So we see the beautiful ship, and then we see a very dramatic silhouette of Captain Picard. And then he steps forward, and you actually get to see him. It's very cinematic.
And everyone collectively was like, that's not William Shatner.
The hell no, it's not. It's better. After he gives a little intro, he goes to engineering, which you could tell they're very proud of because they show it so often. And it looks very cool because this is, This is new. It's engineering. It's their warp core. It's totally different than the ones we've seen before. But while we were watching it, I asked Chris, I was like, can you tell the camera's shaky? And it was, which I think is kind of cute. Because, they're doing their best.
I thought it was shaking on purpose, for dramatic effect.
I don't think so. I don't think that was intentional.
The camera was just nervous.
Probably. Wouldn't you be?
Oh, yeah. He's like, oh my God, it's Captain Picard. I don't know who this guy is yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm awestruck.
I mean, I would be. It's Captain Jean-Luc Picard. I mean, come on. So, Picard says that they are going to solve the mystery of Farpoint Station. We don't really know a whole lot about it. Sounds really cool.
Because it's a mystery.
And then a huge net shows up and stops the Enterprise. It does look like a net, too. And we get Q.
Thou art notified that thy kind have infiltrated the galaxy too far already. Thou art directed to return to thine own solar system immediately.
That's quite a directive. Would you mind identifying what you are?
Call ourselves the Q.
It was John Delancey. And
Q.
Yeah, he was great. I mean, even first episode Q was great. The casting is just... I think John Delancey is Q, actually. So that's probably why he's so good. Because he plays the exact same character in My Little Pony. So I'm starting to think it's just him.
Are you sure you're friends with Fluttershy? You seem so very different from her.
Well, of course we're friends. She gets me, and you obviously do not.
Are you sure you're friends with Fluttershy?
So Q appears on the bridge. And he's dressed like a ship captain.
An old-timey ship captain.
Yeah, like old-timey. And he's speaking in, like, old English. Go back from where's thou camest. And it's very dramatic and very confusing. And he changes from that to, like, an army captain, which was pretty cool. And he's basically talking to Picard and saying, like, you can't handle this. You have no right to be out here. You need to go back to Earth. He's pointing out humanity's failures, which there's plenty. And the next captain he shows is military in their past, our future. And he brings up that humans learn to control their military with drugs, which I thought was very interesting.
You'd think they said that for the World War II uniform.
I guess that was probably not done because of the time period and offending people, because this was made in the 80s. But, Star Trek's not going to act like humanity's perfect, so they put it in the next war. You see what I'm saying? So, let's not put it in that war, because, people probably get mad because family members and stuff. But let's make sure to point out that humanity did that. Yeah, we'll just put it in the next one. So, he's wearing this kind of, weird military outfit.
When World War III rolls around and we all get conscripted, I hope they don't make us dress like that.
Yeah, it was kind of silly. It, covered his head, and there's a thing he pulls from the side and sniffs, which are apparently the drugs.
Not looking forward to that.
No, not at all.
Unless it's good shit.
Oh, God. They have no idea, what he's gonna do. So right now, Captain Picard is acting like this is a really serious threat, which is what he should do, because they have no idea. So something that's really interesting there, a little side note. Counselor Troy is played by Marina Sirtis. And when they cast the main people, They wanted her for Counselor Troy.
I'm Counselor Troy.
Oh, God. She actually, she tried out for Yar, and Denise Crosby tried out for Troy, and they flipped them. But she doesn't have a British accent. Her accent is weird, and you can't place it. It's because it's an accent she made up. Because they wanted the show to be popular in America, so they didn't want two of the main cast to be British. So they had her create a fake accent. Then she has that dark black hair, and she's wearing contact lenses that make her eyes black. So she's a Betazoid. Isn't that interesting?
Very.
Yeah. So that is an accent that she created, and I think she's Greek. So I think she explained that she just kind of like took 3 different accents and made up her own. It's just funny that like 2 British people would have been like a big deal back then. So they try to outrun Q, and they go to like maximum warp. And the thing is, like, Q can do anything, but they don't know this. They keep going faster, and like, you're really not supposed to go past warp 9, but they're like warp 2, warp 4, and he just goes faster. And Picard is trying to come up with some way to keep the people safe. And it's like I was telling Chris, so you have the saucer section of the Enterprise D, which is obviously the part that looks like a saucer. That's where the crew quarters are. It's where the majority of the people are. That's where the main bridge is. The cool thing about this ship is it's made to have a saucer separation. And that way it can get away with the majority of the people. And then there's a battle bridge on the other part of the Enterprise. And that's where the main deflector is and all the torpedoes.
Begin countdown. Mark.
Starship separation. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The Enterprise is really different. This Enterprise, it's big, and it has a lot of people on it and has families, whereas that wasn't a thing before. But this one was made to be gone for quite some time, so there are families on the Enterprise. So Picard calls for an emergency saucer separation, which is also, done because it looks cool, and it's the first episode. So you get to see, like, both bridges. But while he's calling a saucer separation, you see different crew members, like, scrambling to go where they need to go. And I asked Chris, I was like, did you see the guy in the dress? Because that was, like, yeah, that was the only time they showed that. So there is a guy in a Starfleet uniform that looks like a dress. And that was going to be a thing. But apparently it wasn't very popular, so you don't see it again, I don't think, past the first episode. I get it was in the 80s. But, like, there's, like, kilts and stuff, but I don't know. Probably people are like, I want to see a man in a dress, so they scrapped it. The saucer section gets away, and the other part of the Enterprise turns and faces Q, and all of a sudden, humanity is on trial. Q brings them to a courtroom, and what are they, like peasants, I guess?
There's something.
Yeah, they're funny looking. Just funny dressed, funny looking people, and they're all riled up. It reminds you of, like, somebody on trial, like, medieval.
They just walked into, like, a courtroom in the Thunderdome or something.
Apparently this is a time period where a lot of people went on trial, and it was for the entertainment of the people there. So It's kind of like future, and it kind of reminds you of something medieval. We have Picard, Troy, Data, and Tasha. So Captain Picard, Troy, who we just talked about, Data, who is an android, and Tasha Yar, who is head of security. And from the back and forth, we find out that this is during the mid-21st century, and Picard calls it a post-atomic horror. So I would say this is what, after whatever World War III.
I gave a year, but I don't recall what it was. But it's definitely got to be sometime after World War III.
It's 2079.
Well, I don't look forward to having to dress like that when I'm old. I guess I could manage to, dress in rags so that when we have to go to the court, we can throw rotten vegetables and jump up and down going, ha, 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 ha.
They did. They just jumped up and down and made noises. So whatever happens after World War III, it looks like everything sucks. Well, he called it a horror. So here's the trippy thing. Troy's an empath. If you're full Betazoid, then you can read people's thoughts, just like you hear them talking. But they didn't want to do that because it's intrusive. So they made her half Betazoid. And so...
Alphazoid.
What?
I'd be an Alphazoid.
Oh, God.
It's like a Betazoid, but instead of reading someone's mind and being very empathic, they just don't do any of that.
Or I was going to say, you tell people what to think.
Yeah, I tell you what to do because I'm the alpha.
I'm an alpha reminds me of those really bad TikTok movies with the wolves that come up on my FYP, and I don't know why.
Those are so horrible.
It's awful. It's like, he's my alpha. I don't know what to do without him. I don't know why that shit comes up. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, good. That means it hasn't come up on your FYP. Just be glad.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows about those. It's like, I was kicked out of my pack, and then the alpha picked me up in his big, strong arms and said, I love you to the day I die. And I'm like, I don't know you.
Or the other one is like, I'm an alpha. You expect me to wed this Omega?
That's such a Delta thing to do, Sharon.
God, those are awful. Troy is an empath, so she can sense feelings, and she tells Picard, this isn't an illusion or a dream. I don't understand it, but this is real. Meaning, she can sense emotions from the crowd. So that's how powerful Q is. It's not just like a vision. It's real. So he has a fantastic entrance on this floating throne with this very cool. It is very cool. A very elaborate outfit that's red and black. Even has gloves, which I'm sure he loved very much. And Tasha freaks out and starts kind of crying and saying that you should bow down and thank the Federation because I was raised in a place like this and blah blah blah. It's very, very emotional, and it's like, Jesus Christ, Tasha, you didn't have to bust out all that. So Q's like, nah. So he freezes her. I'm actually glad for a while because I was like, shut up, Tasha. I get it. You had a bad childhood, Tasha. We get it.
Your kid was run over by a truck, okay? Give her some space here to be over emotional.
He's saying that because she's the mom in Pet Sematary. Well, she's also Bing Crosby's niece.
You remember her sister?
No.
The Legend of Zelda?
Oh my God. People are going to be like, really? Why do y'all know that? I don't know. I don't know.
Before the Federation found her, she was told she'll never get out of bed again. Never get out of bed again. And she did. And she joined the Federation.
She did. She has childhood trauma. The big thing that Q says is that you have the charge of being a grievously savage race. And Picard pleads guilty. And basically, Q says that the Farpoint station is going to be their test. So he sends them back.
It is not for you to set the standards by which we should be judged.
Oh, but it is, and we have.
The next scene, we're at Farpoint, and who do we see? It's Commander Riker. Yay!
Baby-faced Commander Riker.
Baby-faced Commander Riker. He is a baby. No beard. And he is talking to the guy that is over Farpoint Station, who is Grappler Zorn, which is a great name.
Which is played by Michael Bell.
Which I did not know.
One of my heroes.
Say why?
Because he's on one of the Zales commercials. Zales, the diamond store. and he plays Raziel on Soul Reaper.
Why do you know he's on a Zales commercial?
Because I got excited because they had Raziel try to sell me diamonds, and I wanted to go buy one.
You're awesome.
Fuck Jared. He went to Jared. No, he went to Zales.
Every kiss begins with K.
Not a sponsor.
But if a diamond store wants to sponsor us, just hit me up. Riker is asking Zorn about the energy supply and how the hell the station was created so quickly and to the specifications of Starfleet. And it's pretty cool because Riker's the only one that's like, hey, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. And there's a bowl of fruit in front of Zorn, and he offers Riker fruit, and Riker's like, oh, there's no apples. And then like a second later, there's a bowl of apples. And Riker's like, that was not here. And Zorn's like, well, you just didn't notice it. So Riker takes an apple and leaves, and then it's very odd because Zorn starts talking to no one and is angry. And he's like, I've told you not to do that. So we know something weird is going on. Really damn weird. At this point, what did you think he was doing?
I was curious if there was like another Q-like being there or something.
Oh, yeah. See, that's a good idea. Look at you.
Because he can't be the only one, right? There's got to be other humans out there. A whole species of humanity.
There is. It's called the Q Continuum. Sometimes they like him and sometimes they don't. Next we go to Riker, and we meet Beverly Crusher and her son Wesley.
And she was really crushing it in this role.
She was. She's a very nice person. She's Gates McFadden, and she used to work with Jim Henson, and she choreographed the ballroom scene in Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. She's also a very talented dancer.
Like the one scene in Labyrinth I hated.
Really?
Yes, I was like, ugh, fast forward.
You're such a boy. It's a great scene.
Boring.
Well, like, did you at least like the creepy mask that people have on?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, such a boy. So, Riker's talking to Crusher, and they're at like some little market, outdoor market, and she looks at the fabric, but then says like she wishes there was a different kind. And then all of a sudden, the fabric that she wanted was there. And Riker points it out. He's like, don't you notice, like, if you want something, it just shows up? And again, everyone else is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So, Riker is talking to Beverly, and he can tell that she's familiar with Picard. And he's like, so you know the captain? And you find out through her and Wesley that Captain Picard is the one that brought her husband's body to them. Jack Crusher. She's the widow of Jack Crusher. That was Wesley's father. And
so you saying
Captain
Picard drop Jack off?
God. I can't.
I'm just trying to get
I can't. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yes, he did. Captain Picard and Jack were friends, and Jack's dead. So you have that kind of... It's kind of like an info dump, actually. But, I mean, you need to know that, so it's fine. Geordi shows up, and he's actually in a red command uniform, which people might find interesting. Because Geordi was not initially in engineering.
Geordi LaForge was originally a lieutenant junior grade while serving as the helmsman of the Enterprise D. As his career progressed, he transitioned to engineering and was promoted to lieutenant and later lieutenant commander, rising to become the chief engineer of the ship.
After that, the Enterprise shows up to get Riker, and there's no saucer section. So he's like, oh, thank you for coming to pick me up with just half the ship. There's a reason for it. You don't know it at the time. Riker shows up on the bridge. It's the battle bridge, because no saucer section. Picard is not nice to him at all. It's awkward. He doesn't turn around and welcome him. And he basically says, go get filled in on what happened to us and then come see me. And you can tell Riker's kind of shocked and he's like put off by it. As he should be. I mean, he's the first officer. You would expect at least a, hey, how you doing? But there's not one. So after Riker watches a video that shows him everything that happened, he goes into Picard's ready room. And it's a test. Like, everything was a test. Like, he asked Riker, he's like, on your previous ship, it's noted that you wouldn't let the captain go down with an away team. And Riker's like, no, I wouldn't. And Picard's like, so you don't value the captain's life? And Riker is like, no, quite the opposite. And Picard keeps pushing, and he's like, so if I say I want to do this, then you're just going to disregard my authority. And Riker, he keeps to it. And Picard is like, so, if I want to do something, you basically going to tell me no? And Riker's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you no. And Picard's like, good, because that's exactly what I want you to do. So all of it was a test. And Riker passed with flying colors. And then you get this kind of odd statement of, all right, now that we're past all that, I need you to do me a favor. And Riker's like, what? And Picard's like, can you stop me from looking like an asshole in front of kids? And he really does say ass. So it's like, wait, what? And he says, I'm not a family man, Riker. And Starfleet has given me a ship full of children. Don't let me make an ass of myself. It's kind of weird. Because it's like, it's just kids, man. Are you alright? But that's one of the things. Captain Picard feels very awkward around children.
Well, I mean, it's understandable to feel awkward around children because every time they come by, they're like, "Skibbity toilet, man. That'd be bussin'." No cap. He's like, I don't understand children.
Who does?
Data, can you translate?
Oh, here's an interesting thing. Did you know that it wasn't set in stone that he would be Data or Data? It was going to be either one, and they just waited for somebody to say it out loud.
Data sounds more official.
Yeah, but it could have been Data.
Now, if they made him a little miniature robot to follow him around, he could have been Data.
No, the little robot would have looked at him and said, Data.
Yeah, but because he's single, he's Data.
Oh, wait till the 3rd episode. Just wait. Next scene is also an info dump, but we need to know it. It's Geordi in sick bay.
Info dumps.
Yeah, they are. They're not annoying. And then they're done quite well. So we have Geordi in sick bay with Dr. Crusher, and he's having headaches, which is something we know he has throughout the series.
Dr. Crusher, Pressing down on me, I'm in sick bay, and I cannot see.
You know what?
What?
That's David Bowie. David Bowie did...
The ballroom scene in Labyrinth, I'm aware.
Okay, alright, hold on to that though. That connects him to Gates McFadden. David Bowie sang Little Drummer Boy with Bing Crosby. And Tasha Yar is Denise Crosby, his niece.
Oh.
Look at that.
Wheels within wheels.
I'm just saying. So, Geordi, who is LeVar Burton. Yes, that one. Butterfly in the sky.
I can go twice as high. It's not a contest.
You know, there's an episode of Reading Rainbow where LeVar shows like behind the scenes of Star Trek. It's actually really cool.
Hi, welcome to the Starship Enterprise from the television show Star Trek: The Next Generation. Now, you might have seen me here before on the bridge as Lieutenant Geordi LaForge.
There's actually also an episode where they're looking at clouds, and he says, that one kind of looks like the Starship Enterprise.
Yay! Geordi has headaches, and Dr. Crusher is talking to him about his visor, which the visor is modeled after a woman's headband. That was their idea.
About going back to their roots.
And he was in Roots.
That was a joke.
I know. I was just telling them.
They don't know that.
They're going to be like, what is this? What? I don't know. Hopefully entertaining. Crusher asked him, like, if he has always been blind, and he said yes, he was born this way. Which made me think of Lady Gaga, but that's beside the point.
I was just about to start singing again.
I know. And he asked, like, is there anything you can do about the headaches? And she's like, yeah, but we'd have to, like, remove the implants that connect to your visor and do exploratory surgery. And he's like, no. So that tells you that in order to have the vision that he has, which is not like ours, it's hard to explain how Geordi sees. He kind of sees like the Predator. Like he could pick up like, you know, like heat signatures, but there's also information there, kind of like Terminator. So combine those two, which both have something to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right.
So it's like he can see like heat. So he's got like, you know, like the thermal vision, but then there's also information there, you know, probably saying like, I don't know what the temperature is, what that's made out of, you know, he can see through things too. So there's that.
Like clothes?
No, not clothes. You'll be able to see his Geordi in an episode. But yeah, so he would rather have like, you know, the headaches and stuff than give that up.
Does that mean he could see if somebody farts? Because that gives off body heat. You could see little puffs come out.
Yes, he could.
So if like they're trying to figure out who farted on the bridge and he was there, he would know.
100% he would know, yes. Because like he can detect gases and stuff. So yeah.
Well, if Picard did it, and then Picard is like, I'm the one leading the investigation, we're going to find out. And would he betray his captain, follow along? Or how do you think he would handle that situation?
Geordi would tell the truth. He would say, yeah, but I mean, he wouldn't bust the captain out in front of everybody. He would say, Captain, could I see you in your ready room? And then Picard would say, okay. And then he would go in there and be like, I know you did that, sir. I just didn't want to say it in front of the other crew.
Well,
that's Geordi.
He say anything. Would he follow orders?
Yes.
He got to follow the chain of command.
He would. If told, do not tell them I farted. Then Geordi's going to assume it has something to do with a bigger picture, and he's going to do that.
Do you think if the captain ordered him to take the fall, he would do it?
Yes.
He's a team player then. I respect him.
He's great. Geordi's fantastic. Next scene. We find out Data has a side mission, and it is to escort an admiral to a shuttlecraft because that admiral will not use the transporter. And who famously will not use a transporter? That is
Scotty.
Scotty got stuck in a transporter. This is Bones. This is McCoy. And it's really cool to see DeForest Kelley on the first episode of The Next Generation. And you find out he's 137.
In a row?
It's a really cute scene. It's very touching. It was probably very emotional for people that love the original series because he's grumpy. He's always been grumpy. And he's talking to Data. And Data knows he's exactly 137. He's like, how do you know that so precisely? And Data, like, talks like Data. And he's very matter of fact. And he knows all this information. And it's such a great line. But McCoy turns to him and he looks at his ears and he says, I don't see no points on your ears, boy, but you sound like a Vulcan.
Have you got some reason you want my atoms scattered all over space, boy?
No, sir. But at your age, sir, I thought you shouldn't have to put up with the time and trouble of a shuttlecraft.
Hold it right there, boy.
Sir?
What about my age?
Sorry, sir. If that subject troubles you.
Troubles me? What's so damn troublesome about not having died? How old do you think I am anyway?
137 years, Admiral, according to Starfleet records.
Explain how you remember that so exactly.
I remember every fact I'm exposed to, sir.
I don't see no points on your ears, boy. But you sound like a Vulcan.
And Data says, I am an android. And McCoy says, almost as bad. And it's so cute because he's talking about Spock, which is so heartwarming. And in this crew, Data is Spock. Data is the matter-of-fact, logical, vast knowledge one that performs that role, which you can actually see a Spock iteration in most of Star Trek. In Deep Space Nine, it's Odo. Not exactly, but like you could kind of line up certain characters in each series, and it's kind of neat. Because, in like Voyager, you have obviously the Doctor. He's a hologram. It's like in a different font.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Kirk and Picard aren't alike at all, but you have Riker. Riker's the ladies' man, like Kirk was. It's like they divided it up. It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, I've thought about this way too much. And the line that McCoy says as they're walking away is, treat her like a lady and she'll always bring you home. So, that was really sweet.
What if Data suddenly had access to all the files and remembered about Captain Kirk and just started like slapping it around, drinking heavily?
There was a trivia contest at a place when The Next Generation was ending. And my mom took me, I was a kid. And one of the questions was, who are the 3 members of the original series that appeared on The Next Generation? And I raised my hand and I was like, McCoy, Spock, and Scotty. And I won like this box of cards that like limited edition Star Trek The Next Generation like character cards. And the next table over, this is like a really cool place that had like burgers. And it was on the water. And the next table over, there were people dressed up like Klingons, like real Klingons. And I was sitting real close to my mom. And one of the other trivia questions was, what are the two most popular episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation? And I nudged my mom, and I was like, Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and 2. Because they had a big thing on like regular TV where like before like the final episode, they did like a countdown of the 10 most popular episodes, and that was like the last two. That was like 1 and 2. And Mom was like, what? I was like, Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2. And she raised her hand and got it right. And the Klingons growled at us. Because they heard me to give her the answer. And I was like, shit. It was actually scary. Because they didn't growl in a funny way. So that was a moment. And I was like a little kid. Anyway, yeah, we cheated. It's fine.
That is how the Klingon lures a mate.
Are you telling me to go yell at Sawyer?
No. Men do not roar. Women roar. And they hurl heavy objects. And claw at you.
What does the man do?
He reads love poetry.
I kind of love this and I kind of don't. Troy and Riker. So, Riker's now walking around with Picard, and then Troy's on the bridge, and then they walk in. And Picard has no idea they have any kind of backstory, so he's like, hey, this is Riker, this is Troy. And she's just staring at him, he's staring at her, and then all of a sudden, you can hear her voice without her speaking. And it's, do you remember what I taught you, Imzadi? And you're like, what? What is going on? And it is awkward a bit, but it's also like if you love Star Trek The Next Generation, you also love it. You get the picture that they have a lot going on, and he doesn't look like appalled she's there. He's just like, holy shit, and she's just like, it's you.
The first time watching it, it came across as like they had a one night stand. He told her he loved her, but he was getting shipped off, and was like, don't even remember her name. And she's like, I'm so in love. I thought we'd never meet. And he's like, oh, hey, you.
You know what? You're not that far off. I'm going to give you credit for that, because the next thing you hear her say is, I too could never say goodbye, Imzadi. Okay. Later on, all that was written by a really talented author that recently passed away, Peter David. He wrote their love story. It's fantastic. It's Imzadi. There's 3 parts. And in the first book, you find out they knew each other when they were young. She had no interest in him. He was persistent. A lot goes on, but he chooses Starfleet over staying there with her. But he couldn't tell her goodbye. So, I mean, it's a good story. I promise it really is. Cause there's like a lot of adventure to it too. It's not just romance at all. But it's a good book.
Does they have like a ballroom dancing scene?
They do attend a wedding, and all Betazoid weddings you attend naked.
Well, a Betazoid wedding without at least 3 nudes is considered an adult affair.
If you show up their clothes, you look silly. Because these people can read everything you're thinking, so like being naked's like nothing.
You might say you're overdressed for the occasion.
God, why? Why? Speaking of God, why? Okay, so they go down to Farpoint, and Troy senses these strong emotions, and she's like, there's pain, loneliness, terrible despair. And like, they're like, okay, why does she feel like this? And she can't tell them who, but it's just very strong feelings. And you know something shady's going on, because Groppler Zorn gets like defensive. He's like, I don't know what she's talking about. I have no idea. And it's like, yeah, you're doing something wrong. After that is Riker and Data on the holodeck. which is a very interesting thing because, I mean, I think it's a really cool scene. I mean, it shows you what the holodeck is, that it can look like anything, and they're like a very woodsy, I wouldn't call it a jungle. It's more like woods than a jungle.
Very woodsy.
And Riker's looking for Data, and when he finds him, he's standing like on, I think he's standing on a branch of a tree. Yeah, he is, because he jumps down. And he's whistling Pop Goes the Weasel, and you can't get the very last line right. It's kind of off, and then Riker finishes for him. And it's really cute because he references that like a couple times in the future. And this is the first time they met, obviously, and like Data's a big deal. There's only one. He's the only android in Starfleet. So Riker kind of has this like boy-like fascination, which I would too. I mean, and the cool thing is, I don't know if you noticed, but Data explains to Riker, like, he went through Starfleet. Even though he's an android, he's incredibly intelligent, and he can just, he could just download information. He went through Starfleet and graduated. He went through every step, which later on is very important when he fights for his own autonomy.
Yeah, I just didn't like after the main series and all the movies had ended, Data had gone off and discovered this black goo and started his whole little side project. It's kind of disappointing. Spoilers.
That's David.
That's what I said.
Data and David would not get along at all.
They might.
No, because in this scene, like, Riker is so impressed with his knowledge, and Data literally says, I would give it all up to be human. And that's why Riker calls him Pinocchio.
When the captain suggested you, I looked up your record. Then your rank of lieutenant commander is honorary.
No, sir. Starfleet class of 78, honors in probability mechanics and exobiology.
But your file says that you're a
machine. Correct, sir. Does that trouble you?
To be honest, yes, a little.
Understood, sir. Prejudice is very human.
Now that does trouble me. Do you consider yourself superior to us?
I am superior, sir, in many ways. But I would gladly give it up to be human.
Nice to meet you, Pinocchio.
David hates humans. It's like the opposite, man.
Well, I mean, a lot happened to Data after the movies.
Yeah, he died.
But then he lived.
He did. Everybody thinks this Farpoint station is shady, which it is. So they beam down underneath where there's tunnels, and they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Geordi's like, I don't know what these tunnels are made of. This is nothing I've ever seen before. And it's not, because he's using his visor. Troy opens up her mind, starts crying, and because Riker tells her to, and she's just like bawling, and she's just saying it's pain, despair, and stuff. And then Riker feels bad, and he apologizes. So we know something's going on with the tunnels down there. Then we have a quick scene with Crusher. She comes onto the bridge, and Wesley is in the turbo lift. Picard's like, kids aren't allowed on the bridge, and she's like, my son accompanied me on the turbo lift. He's not on the bridge. So Picard's like, oh, that's your son? So he lets him sit in the captain's chair. Wesley starts like playing around and saying there's an alert, and Picard's like, get the hell out of here. And
he didn't have a number 2 around to tell him, don't yell at the children.
You know what? Perfect. That's it. If Riker would have been there, it would have gone a lot better. And that's not BS. It's true. Riker and Picard together, I mean, it's a good combo. It's like Lennon-McCartney. So this is when the unknown vessel appears and scans the ship. It's like a clam shape, kinda.
Yes.
It's like a round, glowy thing. Doesn't really look like a ship. It's very pretty. So, it starts firing on the city, not at Farpoint Station, but at the people that quote unquote built the station. They're called the Bandy. That's the people, and they live around it. And so this thing starts like just firing on them, and Q shows up because he likes chaos.
Sounds like the Bandy need a Band-Aid.
Oh yeah, Dr. Crusher's like getting ready to go down there because they're getting their ass kicked. And Q is trying to convince Picard to fire on it. He's like, "Oh yeah, fire on it. You don't know it's going to hurt everybody." And Picard's like, "No." And he sends an away team over there, and they find out the tunnels at Farpoint Station look just like the tunnels on this thing that shows up. And they get beamed back, and you think it's Q, but it wasn't. It's the entity. It sent them back to their ship. And Q's like, well, you just don't know what it's going to do. And it's firing on them. You should kill it. Yeah, fire on it. And Picard's like, I'm not listening to you, man. And Picard starts figuring it out. Because Troy is sensing emotions from it. Anger. Like intense anger. So there's despair at Farpoint Station. And this thing that shows up is angry as hell. And it's like torturing Zorn. Which they bring him back to the Enterprise. Q put them on trial, but at the same time, they would have never figured out what was going on without Q. That's what you have to know about him. Every single time, it seems like he's getting them into shit. There's like a bigger picture. Maybe it's not like the best way, but there's no way they would have figured out what was going on without him. Because because Q's like, yeah, kill it, fire on it, and Picard's like, wait a minute. And then he puts it together, and he starts like asking Zorn all these questions about it, and Zorn like lets it slip that it was injured, we helped it. Okay, right, and that's all you need to know. He's like, so it's a living thing. And he's like, no, we saved it. And he's like, yeah, you gave it just enough energy to live, but not enough to leave. So this is a thing. It's a living thing down there. And it was injured. They found it, the Bandy people, and gave it energy. And it can turn energy into matter. So that's how it became a station so quickly and to the specifications Starfleet wanted at the expense of like an actual living creature. And that's how, like, if they wanted something, it would appear. And that's why the other one's angry. So Picard says, basically, just give it energy. He said as much as it can take. So the Enterprise immediately starts like a feed down to it, and they don't quit until like some of it's like coming back, basically like a backflow of energy, which means it's full. And he stops, and it starts rising up, and you realize it's the same shape as the other one, and they have little tentacles. Well, not little, it's huge, but they have tentacles that come down, and Picard is like, that's its mate. And then there's like a quick like cut to Troy and Riker, which is kind of cute. But what did you think about them holding hands? It was kind of cute.
Thought it was space jellyfish holding hands was adorable.
It was very cute because one's like more blue, one's more purple, and then they kind of hold hands. So Q's impressed that they didn't act like cavemen and just, fire and kill. And Troy narrates for everybody that they are so happy, and she's crying. And she says that she sensed great joy and gratitude from both of them. Should I tell my story about Twitter?
Sure.
So, like, years ago, Marina Sirtis was tweeting about a football game, and she was really happy that it won. Like, whatever team she wanted. I can't remember. And I tweeted her, and I said, "Do you have great joy and gratitude?" And she immediately tweeted me back that she was laughing her ass off. Oh, I was so happy. I made Marina Sirtis laugh one time. It's peak. Because it's a very well-known line. Because it's very dramatic, and it's in, like, you know, the first episode.
A feeling of great joy and gratitude. Great joy and gratitude. From both of them.
So, Q's impressed. But he tells them, you know, it's not the last time you've seen me. And that basically they're always going to be on trial.
Yeah, he's like, you got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not expecting great things from humanity. So don't be looking to me and expecting great joy and gratitude.
Nah, but he's impressed. Even if he doesn't like to show it. So, what'd you think?
I thought it was a really good first episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, like, dated and stuff because of the time, but I think it was good. I think they did a good job. You can tell that they wanted to really show the ship and what it could do and the differences, and they really wanted to showcase each of the main crew, which I think they did. They gave them all screen time, so I thought it was really good.
I thought it was a very good introduction.
Yes. The next episode, I'm really curious to know what you're going to think about that. It's called The Naked Now. So that'll be, yeah, that'll be the next one we talk about. There's a lot in that one. But thank y'all so much for listening to this. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Holla. Hey, it's Amanda here. Thank you for listening to my podcast. And if you don't mind, go on over to YouTube and Instagram and follow the podcast there. And that way you'll get alerted the next time an episode drops. Hope you enjoy.